Overcoming sciatica from a herniated disc or bulging disc comes down to three very simple things. In today's video, I'm gonna break down what these three things are and give you some examples that you can implement right now. If you're new here, my name is William and I teach chronic back pain sufferers just like you how to overcome years of chronic back pain by mastering their mindset, improving their movements, and building smarter strength. So if you have gone through the medical model gauntlet, you've had injections, you've had surgery, you've had PT done, and none of these things seem to have worked, you're in the right place. So I lived with chronic back pain for 6 or 7 years after I had ruptured my L5-S1 disc and was diagnosed with degenerative discs above that site. I was super young, did not know what I was doing, and I was following what doctors, surgeons, and PTs and physios were telling me to do. So I was doing a lot of stretching, a lot of symptom treatment. I was chasing pain, chasing the sensations that I was having, trying to put Band-Aids on all these things to keep them from coming back. But what I discovered is I was never truly doing what I needed to do to get rid of the symptoms at the root cause. So if you have a herniation, if you have a bulge, if you're having sciatica down both or one leg over the other, this strategy is something that I personally have had to take myself through over the years, and it will change your life if done appropriately. Now remember, this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a PT. I want to encourage you and show you how to be self-sufficient by using movement, exercise, and changing your mindset around your pain. So if you are in severe amounts of pain with sciatica, please consult a doctor first before attempting anything you see here today. So the first step in overcoming sciatica, getting some space in between these vertebrae to kind of lighten the mood up a little bit, is decompression. There are a lot of different ways that you can do decompression type of exercises. Some will do really well for you and others will create more pain and more symptoms. What I suggest that you do is don't take one and say, oh, this person told me to do this to decompress my spine, like an inversion table or a traction table at a PT clinic, and really explore the positions that your body prefers to be in, right? This is the mental shift that I make with one-on-one students inside of my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. Is it's not so much about a formula that you're putting your body into and forcing it to work. You're taking principles and understanding what works and what doesn't work, and then getting help in finding the variation that works best for you. Now, as you can see popping up on this screen, there are different forms of decompression. You can do things like hanging from a bar, making sure that you're respecting the load that you're putting on the low back. Another great way to decompress the spine is using a stability ball. You can do this standing, you can do it sitting, you can do it in kind of like a hinge position, you can do it over a bench. That's a great tool to use, a stability ball. You can do a lot of different things from a decompression perspective. Aside from the stability ball, you can use the side of a bed, right? You can just hang yourself off of that bed. You got your upper body up onto the top of that bed, and you're just allowing everything else to kind of hang down below with your feet firmly planted on the ground to kind of give you some support. You want to spend time in this decompression phase of your healing process. Now, you can do all three of these things I'll be talking about today in one session, but you want to start with the decompression first to give yourself a little bit of space. Now, if you want a little bit more as far as reps, sets, what exercise choices you should make, what's right and what's wrong when it comes to putting a little routine together, go to fitnessforbackpain.com/routine. It's an actual herniation, bulge, pain relief routine that you can do on a daily basis. Try it out for yourself. Go to fitnessforbackpain.com/routine. Grab that now. The second step in overcoming sciatica from a herniated or bulging disc is extensions. Now, not all extensions work for everybody. It's a good rule of thumb that if you have herniations, if you have a bulge, odds are extensions will help. The whole McKenzie method kind of talks about this, but it may not work for everyone. So again, proceed with caution. There are people who have sciatica symptoms that actual flexion feels better, and you have to explore and understand what's gonna be best for you. But in this case here, extension is a very common tool used in most situations with people with sciatica, and I want to encourage you to explore different versions of extension for yourself. Now, there's a lot of ways you can do extension. You can do simple tummy time, which is the form of very gentle extension. All you're doing is laying flat on the ground. You're relaxing and focusing on your breathing. We're not going to go from here all the way into a cobra pose. We're going to break this down and progress over time. The next version from tummy time would be maybe stacking fists discs underneath your chin. This is gonna bring your head up and create a little bit more of an extension position in the low back. It's not gonna feel like you're doing much, but it's something that you can start with. Now, spending time in this position and you want to progress or go a little bit harder, you can go up onto your forearms. From your forearms, you can kind of go up from there. The goal is not to take your head and touch the back of your feet. That's not the goal. We're not trying to be able to bend over and become super flexible. We're just trying to encourage this bulge or this herniation to go back into its normal operating place over time. So this is not an over the weekend kind of thing. It's not a I'm gonna do it when I think about it kind of thing. This is something that you really have to be consistent with every single day, and in most cases, multiple times a day. The key is understanding what your prescription is, right? Not all prescriptions fit every single illness. You have to find out, okay, this is the tool that I have been told I should use. What and how much of this tool should I be applying to my situation? This is where your pain profile becomes very unique and very personalized to you. If you need help with that, this is what I do all the time inside of my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. This is the one-on-one coaching program that I offer to people who have gone through the medical model. They've had injections, they've had PT, they've had surgery maybe, and they keep falling back into these loops of chronic pain, good days and bad days, but they can never actually get out of pain. If that is you, grab a time for you and I to chat. You can go to fitnessbackpain.com/apply, and we can see if what I do inside of this program would actually fit you and get you out of the situation that you're in. Just go to fitnessbackpain.com/apply if you'd like to speak. Third step in overcoming sciatica and getting out of years of chronic back pain is strength work. Now, not all strength work is created equal. Just because someone says, oh, your core is weak, that's why you have back pain, or you have sciatica, oh, you gotta strengthen your core to protect and create stiffness around your low back. It's not always the case, and odds are you've gone through the methods like the McGill method, the McGill Big Three. You've done core training before, and maybe your symptoms go away temporarily, but they always come back. What we need to focus on is 360 strength training. So what I mean by that is we're focusing on the core, we're focusing on the side of the body, and we're focusing on the back of the body. So that makes up your core, like your 360-degree barrel effect around your spine is super important, which means we have to strength train the low back. We have to build strength and endurance in the low back. Now, this is a whole nother video when it comes to building low back strength. I've done some videos where I suggest that you would start. You can check out this video here. It'll be linked into the corner. That video will give you some starting points in how to address low back strength without causing more pain in the process. Other than direct back strength training, you can focus on your core work, but make sure we're not just doing sit-ups and planks and crunches, but we're trying to look at the core as a 360-degree can. In what ways can I learn to build strength from side to side, in diagonal ways, in front to back, and even twisting depending on your pain tolerance. You have to get to the point where you're building strength, you're stiffening, you're creating strength and protection and stability around the spine. But remember, we have to go through a very specific process to do this. Now, maybe you're sitting here and saying, I've done this, right? I've done decompression. I've done the extension work. It doesn't work for me. I've done the core training. It doesn't work for me. There are people out there who have gone through this typical decompress, extend, and strengthen phase. Maybe they haven't done it correctly. Maybe the coaching around did not work that well, but there are situations where there is more to your pain than just mechanical problems. Oftentimes when I work with someone, there is a lot more involved when it comes to overcoming their chronic pain than just giving them some secret exercises they think that I have. There's a process of desensitizing your pain system, gaining an understanding of how to calm this body's fight or flight response down that it is signaling because you've been in so much pain for so long. You've got to address that stuff first. If this is out of whack and your car alarm inside of your body is faulty and always going off when you brush your teeth or you're cooking or you're washing your body, tying your shoes, and your sciatica is flaring up during these very simple activities, you don't have a weak core problem, you don't have a decompression problem, you have a pain problem. And in some situations, if the things that we talked about today they have not worked for you, I would focus all of your attention on learning how to calm this pain system down. This is what has made the hybrid relief relief method inside of my coaching program so successful is because I take people both through a process of calming their pain system down and then using movement and exercise appropriately at the right time to take themselves out of this constant loop, rehabilitation, flare-up cycle that they find themselves on. It's a massive gap that needs to be bridged when it comes to PT and getting back to your CrossFit or kayaking or hiking or whatever it is that you like to do. There's a gap there, and that gap involves understanding your pain system, building appropriate strength and movement habits around healing, and then building strength and resilience to lock it in and make it a long-term change, a transformation, right? So if you're interested in getting help, if you feel stuck for yourself, you've done these types of routines before and they haven't worked, go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. Grab a time for you and I to have a conversation around your specific situation. We will build your pain profile out and the exact steps that you should be doing if you were to enroll in that program. fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. If you're like, I don't want to do one-on-one coaching, I'm a DIYer, I want to keep kicking this can down the street and do it myself, do it. I did it for years. I was in pain for years, but I feel you. I see where you're at. I did the exact same thing. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I will see you on the next episode.